Speaker number 2, Kacy Kaiser. Make your own silver lining. Make your own silver lining, Kacy Kaiser.
That's heavier than I thought. Okay, who's been watching the news lately? Show of hands. I have two. Not necessarily on my own free will, kind of because my politics professor has been forcing me, but I've been watching the news, and I've become a more well-informed citizen. But I've seen that the universal feeling of our country is that of depression, hopelessness, and panic. Anybody share these same feelings about the economy? I do, kind of. Not necessarily sure what all's going on, but I feel kind of panicked from everybody else. I'm not trying to blame the media for these feelings of panic and depression, but I do feel that they can help aid in lessening the strength of these feelings. They need to show that communities and individuals can pull together and see the silver lining, although it might be sliver, and see that there is a brighter side of this situation. While flipping through the newspaper, I see how many areas of life the gloom economic situation affects. Everything from business, finance, life, travel, politics, health, living green, classifieds, jobs, and more. Just from the economic situation. The gravity of our national situation is in every part of our lives, and the media usually focuses on the gloom and doom. But what about the flip side of the story? There will come a time when there's no more to write about the economy being in a deep hole, the national depression that's setting in, the panic families are experiencing, and all the hopeless and everything else that's going around, and the pessimistic attention. It's time we hear the other side of the story and how we can get through this. Let us as a community pull together and keep the morale up. Here are some ways I feel that this can be achieved. First of all, we need to be informed about what's the worst thing that the IRS, the banks, the loan companies, the credit companies, what's the worst thing they can do to us? Yes, they can take your material stuff, but they cannot take your family, your friends, your faith, your health, your sanity, your values, your morals, and what truly makes an individual. If you have these priceless possessions, you're blessed and you have not lost everything. Even though your home may be foreclosed due to debt accumulated through student loans, those are mounting, by the way, I understand, they can't take your education. So use your education to help you, your family, and others. Most of all, yes, they can take your stuff, and they can fuss at you, and they can make your life a living hell, but that is only if you let them. Second, to keep spirits high through this difficult time, we need to get the community involved in a way to turn things around, not only to help them think for themselves, but to help others. Some ideas could be tell of the businesses that are opening instead of closing, and encourage people to go visit them. That's part of my advertising company. New businesses coming into town, I encourage the new families to go see them, not focus on the closing businesses. Maybe we can do a San Antonio version of Design on a Dime for the families that are remodeling their house inside or for curb appeal. Do a contest for the ones that are the most thrifty and economic in their plans. The third idea is a little bit simpler in nature. What meals can be fixed that are not ridiculous in price, yet still delicious? Anything from healthy choices, holiday meals, fun for kids, party ideas, and such can still be prepared. We do not have to cut out the gatherings in our lives, and we all know that food is usually the center of any get-together. So why not have ideas on appetizing dishes that are even more appetizing in price? Some of my family's favorite dishes come from the Depression time. They're simple, but they're hearty. There's a lot of meat, there's a lot of pastas, salads, and I really like the desserts. But Not only are they cheap, you can freeze some of the ingredients for later usage. And as a college student, cheap is good. And they serve a lot of my friends that come over. And they're great for entertaining. So let's send those into the newspaper. Let's do a contest on that. A few quotes that are simple in character, yet their meanings are philosophical when you think about it. They have helped my family, my friends, and strangers. I'd like to fill you in on these also. Number 1, use it up, wear it out, make it do, or do without. Think about it. I mean, especially in hard times, this is great. Most of the marketing scams, they want you to buy, and buy some more. And I get in trouble with that. But, you know, in this time, we need to save our money. Some of us can send it this way. But the average person can't do that anymore. You want to save. You want to think about how things are going to work out. So before you buy something brand new and extravagant, was what you previously had used up? Is it past the point of no return on fixing? Will you be fine with the older model for now? What services can it still provide? If you answer yes to majority of these questions, you might be able to do without it for a little while. And if you can do without, it's not a necessity. Number 2, they can't eat you. Some of you may have heard me say this before, but it means so much to me. My mother actually said this when she was like 3 or 4 to my grandmother who was experiencing troubles in life. And, you know, bill collectors, bosses, professors, friends, anybody who's adding adversity to your life, what's the worst they can do? They can fuss at you, they can fail you, but they can't eat you. So, you'll make it through. Don't worry. Number 3, adversity is inevitable, stress is optional. All the adversities you're experiencing in life are outside pressures. It is up to you whether or not you want to turn them into inside pressures in your soul, how you're going to deal with it. Stress is optional, but you're always going to have weather, finance problems, war, politics are not going to do what you want them to do, school, so forth. All of those are always going to be there, and they always have. But don't turn those outside adversities into inside stress. And remember, keep your dreams alive. Understand to achieve anything requires faith and belief in yourself. All things are available to those who believe. Thank you.